So out and about shooting test video here on the 202, and you don't need a tripod because the hinge angles the back of the phone up at just the right angle, and you can basically shoot anywhere without ever needing a tripod. It's quite handy. So listening for audio, in addition to panning round, there's a guy strumming in one of the nearby graveyards. You've just missed the jogger, and the sun's struggling to peek out. Interestingly, all video zoom is done with the main lens. You cannot video with the ultra wide either, certainly not with the telephoto. This is at 1x, and even more curiously, the scale for zoom is way off in terms of the UI. This is about 2x, but it shows 1.5 in the zoom UI, which is really bizarre. So you get to the point where 2x in the UI is actually way in, I think nearer 4 or 5x in terms of reality. Let's go back to 1x. And low light video, of course. Well, that's quite bright through the stained glass window. Better keep my voice down. Looking pretty stable in the viewfinder. Walking test in low light. There's a couple of people over in the church office. Shooting macro video here in Sonning in the UK. This is a really severe test of autofocus with a detailed background and a detailed foreground. It looks to be doing pretty well in the viewfinder here. Very frosty. Very frosty this morning. Walking test with the Duo 2 now. Looking at stabilisation. One quick note is that this is with HDR video turned on. I think that's compatible with most video editing suites these days. We'll find out in the final render, but it should give increased and better dynamic range. One of my favourite little quiet graveyards. All video, interestingly, is shot with the main lens. There's no way to switch to the ultra wide on the current firmware, or indeed the telephoto. So if you do zoom in, I'll just tap on the 2i, it goes way in, and it's all on the main lens, digital zoom in video mode, which is still pretty good, but the camera UI really is kind of all over the place in the Duo 2 firmware. I hope they tweak this and fix this in future software updates. There's an update due out as I record this. Otherwise, video's looking pretty smooth.
But I'm in distress. There's danger of me losing all of my happiness. For I love a girl and just say no, I insist. For this you can.
I'm afraid I have to say, Microsoft, that the lack of telephoto use, or indeed ultra wide in video mode, is just lazy programming. And the fact that the scale is way off in terms of the user interface is also just showing lack of quality control. Involve me in the beta, that's what I say. Better video capture on the Duo 2, please.